Hello, my name is Lillian and I did my project on mealworms. My presentation is called Mealworm Madness and this is my abstract. What environmental conditions do mealworms like best? My purpose of this experiment is to find out what the best habitat conditions are to raise mealworms. I'm trying to find this out because I think if I found this out, then I could raise them for my reptiles. If I raise them, then I wouldn't have to buy them and I could save money. My hypothesis is if I provide the mealworms with a dry, dark, cool, and oatmeal food source, then more mealworms will choose to spend most of their time in those areas. I think the dry environment will be better because normally the store sells mealworms in dry conditions. I think they will like the dark environment because many mealworms are nocturnal, which means they are awake at night. I think a cool environment because many types of mealworms do not handle heat well. I think the mealworms will like the oatmeal best because stores usually sell them in some type of grain material. These are my materials. My methods. I used 80 mealworms in a choice chamber to see which habitat mealworms like best. I chose I ch- The choice chamber had two sides. I placed 5 mealworms on each side and timed them for 10 minutes. I recorded how many mealworms were in each side. I then replaced these mealworms with 10 new mealworms. I then repeated this experiment. I took an average of both sets of mealworms. I did 4 experiments and I used the winning conditions from each experiment in the next experiment. My first experiment was dry versus wet. My second was light versus dark. My third experiment was warm versus cool. My fourth was food choices: carrot, grape, sweet potato, and oatmeal. The winning environmental conditions were the control for the next experiment. I controlled all other factors by keeping the choice chamber in the same location during testing and only changing one variable at a time. No special equipment or training was needed for this experiment. I had to be careful when handling the light as it got too hot. I also had to be careful when plugging in electrical cords. I collected my data by repeating each experiment twice and I used a new batch of mealworms for each time. I then took an average of number of mealworms in each side of the choice chamber to see which environment they liked best. I think I gathered enough data with the 20 mealworms for each experiment because the results were consistent with each trial. I did have to make change to my experiment in the beginning because I added too much water to the wet side and the mealworms started to drown. I had to restart this experiment with less water. My results were I took an average of the mealworms in each side of the choice chamber. After repeating this experiment 2 times, I was very confident in my data. Wet got an average of 3 and dry got an average of 7. Overall 7, dry 1. Dark got an average of 7 and light got an average of 3. Overall dark 1. Warm got an average of 4 and cool got an average of 6. Overall cool 1. Out of carrot, grape, sweet potato, and oatmeal was the winner. In conclusion, my hypothesis was correct. I thought it was going to be dry, dark, cool, and oatmeal, and it was. If I could do my experiment again, what would I do differently? I would probably use more mealworms and make it a bigger choice chamber. I thought it was interesting that the mealworms like the cold more than the heat. What challenged me the most during this project? The amount of water used in this experiment one challenged me the most. And these are my references. Thank you for watching this video. Bye.